Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. The Guyana Power and Light Company, GPL, denied it has any link to the sunken barge in Tobago waters. The response came after Guyana Vice President Barra Jagdeo called for a full probe after the Guyanese media outlet reported GPL's possible link to a deal involving a fuel shipment to the state-owned company. In a statement, GPL stated that it is aware of the recent oil spill that occurred off the coast of Trinidad and Tobago and joins with the rest of the Guyanese in expressing its concern regarding the environmental implication and impact on the people of Trinidad and Tobago. GPL said they tendered for the supply and delivery of heavy fuel oil in June 2023 via national competitive bidding. According to GPL, 6 bids were received and the tender was awarded on October 24, 2023. Which was first ranked bidder. Now, a Suriname company, I believe, won the bid. GPL said any additional award for the supply and delivery of heavy fuel was awarded to the joint venture Rapid Result Company and OSHA International Holding Limited, the second ranked bidder, and augment GPL's increase in consumption of heavy fuel oil and supply requirements. The term of both contracts required the supplier to deliver the oil to GPL's port along the Demerara River. So here it is again. GPL said an additional award for the supply and delivery of heavy fuel oil was awarded to the joint venture Rapid Results Company and OSHA International Holding, the second ranking bidder, to augment GPL's increased consumption of heavy fuel and oil supply requirement. What sort of information does the government have on these companies? This government. GPL also noted that if it had not received any notification from any of its contracted fuel supplier that they had encountered difficulties with their vessel, resulting in the loss of cargo. Trinidad and Tobago, what sort of information does our government have on this present situation that is taking place right now in the coast of Tobago? They knows nothing so far. But we're going to wait and see. You're going to hear S. S is starting to bust just now. Eh? Hold on. Parent of students at the Scarborough Secondary School and Lambo Anglican Primary School kept their children away from classes yesterday as strong fumes from a recent fuel spill contained. Now, this continues to affect the areas where they are located. The Division of Education, Research and Technology announced that both schools will be reopened after being closed since Ash Wednesday due to concerns about the air quality in the area. Students took online classes in the interim. However, Tobago representative Brandon Roberts stated that he visited both schools and expects the lingering fumes with the scent getting stronger at the time. Now, this is happening in Tobago, and this is being expected presently from Tobagonians people. You understand? The area where the oil or the diesel or whatever they come up with, there's a lot of fumes and they just can't take it. They just can't take it. It's sad, you know, boy. I mean, Trinidad and Tobago have made international viewers, in case you all don't know. You know what is the international news and the international talks? That the government of Trinidad and Tobago have no clue of what is taking place in our country and is not responding swiftly as they think our government would. So yet another international embarrassment by responding to an oil spill. Yet another international embarrassment because of the fact that they have no info after 2 weeks. Imagine that, eh? Imagine that. International embarrassment. You can leave them ready for a little while. So viewers, I am Saieed Ali. You are viewing Real Talk with Saieed Ali. We are live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday with a rerun the next day from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Remember, I'm a licensed money lender. Those of you who are looking for cash is not a problem. I love to lend. You love to borrow, I love to lend. Remember, we also have a 4% on a fixed investment with our company. And recently, I started to invite the public. Everybody, for the last 5-6 years, everybody in Trinidad and Tobago knows Saieed is a licensed money lender. So this is the offer that I'm throwing out to you. You have money in the bank and you want to invest, I'm a licensed money lender. You want to invest, not a problem. Contact me. Our office numbers will be on screen, viewers. Contact the office, set up an appointment, tell them you want to talk to Saieed. They'll give you a date and a time. You come in, we will sit down, we will have a chat. And I can show you how your money can work for you. Remember, I'm a licensed money lender. We have Real Talk Credit Union information. I've been lending money for quite some time now. I just decided to go public on a bigger scale. That's all. But finance is my business. I've been doing that for a number of years. So remember, viewers, call our office, set up an appointment, meet, and we're going to talk. You want to make money, the little money you have in the bank, you want it to roll over, you want it to work for you, well, I can show you how it can work for you. Remember, we are also opening Real Talk Finance and Investment in Guyana, viewers. We're going to have a nice company in Guyana with Real Talk Equipment Rental, Real Talk Finance and Investment, and also Real Talk Autos in Guyana. Even a wrecking service. So we in Guyana, viewers, and we're going to be big in Guyana, just as we are big in Trinidad. Moving along. More robust application for the safeguard involved with protection orders may be required by the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service as it embarks on a zero-tolerance approach to domestic violence. This as indicated by National Security Fitzgerald Hines during Tuesday's Senate debate. The motion by Independent Senator Paul Richards cites TTPS Crime and Prevention Analyst Unit information on 19,078 domestic violence matters from the year 2000 to the year 2013, with 75% being women and 131 domestic violence related deaths, with 56% of females. Hines stated that between July 2020, after the amendment to present, there were 880 instances of breach, while 450 persons were arrested and charged in the same period. Listen to this, we talk about domestic violence.
Between July 2020, after the amendment, to the present date, there were 880 instances of breaches. So human beings break the law. People will do things, paper or not. Some 400 though, and 50 of those have been arrested and charged in the same period. So it is the response of the state, and particularly the role of the law enforcement personnel, that really gives flesh to the skeleton of the piece of paper which reflects the order of the court. And as you would have heard a moment ago, the order of the court or orders of the court are quite expansive following the amendments of 2020, Mr. President.
Now viewers, the minister said matters of whether protection orders have been effective has been discussed by public. However, he had added that the public is less aware of how often protection orders actually work.
The matter of whether protection orders has been effective has been widely discussed in the public, and the senator raised elements of it. Instances of violations, as the senator just revealed and reminded us, are well publicized, but the public is less aware of how these things actually work, and he alluded to it. They actually work, because you just have to wonder for a moment, Mr. President, what would the scenario have been in the absence of this?
Heinz confused, you know. Heinz confused. Because we see in a lot of matter that relates to death in Trinidad and Tobago with male and female, there were protection order issued. There were reports made to police stations that there were domestic violence restraints. Stay away. There's an order. But yet, male and female choose to ignore the order. They choose to ignore the order and do what they think is best. Now I'll tell you something. Just how would have male will harass a female with a protection order, just would have female who will harass a male while a protection order is standing. It goes both ways. It goes both ways. And not standing here and taking for one side. No. Because once the female knows there's a protection order active, she will nag the man. You go call the man, you go harass the man, you go cuss the man. You go want to bring down your friends by the man. You go want to cause a bacchanal and a big scene. Because you know there's a protection order active. And it's the same thing with the man. You will ignore this piece of document and you will want to go by the house, you will want to cuss, you will want to rant, you will want to rave, you will want to do what you want. And after a short time, you hear the male or the female die. Bacchanal riding. Now, detailing how order works, he said, police play a vital role in enforcing them, and what may be required is a more robust application of these protection by the police and a zero tolerance mood.
Police officers play a vital role in enforcing protection orders to ensure safety of the individuals who are at risk of harm. When a protection order is in place, it is the responsibility of law enforcement to respond promptly and effectively to any violations of the said order. This may involve investigating reports of violations, making arrests, as I have explained, and taking steps to protect the individual who has been granted the protection order. Thus, officers have continued to provide a sense of security for the vast majority of those, in fact, I dare say all of those who are in danger, and to prevent further harm and hold perpetrators accountable. What may be required is a constantly improving and engaging and more robust application of these protections by the police in what we describe as a zero tolerance mode, and a cultural shift on the part of the entire society.
So Trinidad and Tobago, how many of you believes that protection order works? I want to hear from you. Now, key among measures, Heinz noted that Domestic Violence Amendment Bill 2020 was expanded for additional protection. He said, individuals with a history of domestic violence and whose information is entered into the National Domestic Violence Registry for such complaint can now be tracked and monitored by law enforcement.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago, through the Attorney General and the Ministry of Legal Affairs, brought the Domestic Violence Amendment Bill in 2020 to this Parliament, which was introduced in the Senate on June the 3rd of that year and assented to on July the 3rd of the said year, in the form of Act 18 of 2020. That bill amended the Domestic Violence Act, as well as made provisions for emergency protection orders, where if something happens, for an example, overnight, a report to a police station might be enough to accord some level of protection until, of course, more can be done. The bill was brought to Parliament primarily to provide additional protection for the numerous victims of domestic violence. It amended key definitions, it expanded the categories of persons who could apply for protection orders. It made provision, as I said, for emergency protection orders, and it established, very importantly, the National Domestic Violence Register for Domestic Violence Complaints.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, I want to hear from you.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. When life throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, those of you who are looking for cash, you can contact me as long as you have some form of collateral. We will hold your collateral and you will get cash. This is our office number, viewers. Call us, make arrangement, and we'll be glad to lend you money. Remember, those of you who are looking for a greater reward on the money that you have sitting down in financial banks in Trinidad and Tobago, you want your income to be bigger, you want your turnover to be larger than the bank? Not a problem. Not a problem. Contact us. Come on down. I will sit with you and I will show you how your money can work for you. You can get 4, sometimes 5% interest per month. Not per month, per year. You're not getting that in the bank. You're not. Remember, my licensed money lender, I know how to make money. Good. So, crime statistics. For the last 5 years, a total of 13,800 persons were granted bail for serious crime between 2018 and 2023. National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines related this in a written answer to a question asked in the Senate by independent Senator Dr. Paul Richards on Tuesday. In 2022, 2,488 persons got bail for serious crime, while 2,996 in 2021. In 2020, 2,202 got bail and 2,098 in 2019. In 2018, the total was 1,830. The group of offense with the highest number for 2023 was narcotics. Narcotics offense with 379 getting bail, while the lowest was serious indecency with 12. When it came to violent crime last year, 24 were granted bail for murders, 143 for shooting and wounding, and 236 for rape, incest, and other sexual offense. Richard asked Hines how many persons were currently on remand and how many new remandees were taken in each year from 2018 to 2023. Hines said, at the time, 2,053 were on remand, consisting of 1,985 men and 68 women. In 2018, a total of 2,790 new remandees were taken in, 2,200 for 2019, 1,633 for 2020, and 1,768 in 2021. 1,627 in 2022 and 2,454 for 2023.
There are currently 2,053 prisoners currently on remand. This consists of 1,985 males and 68 females. As it relates to item number 2, that is to say the number of new remandees for each year during the period 2018 to 2023. In year 2018, there were 2,790 new remandees. Year 2019, 2,200. Year 2020, 1,633. 2021, 1,768. 2022, 1,627. And 2023, 2,454 new remandees in the respective years.
Now Trinidad. Richard then asked if TNT's prison system could accommodate such high number or if these was overcrowding. However, Hines noted that his ministry was able to accommodate every one of them. Hines stated that a whole of government approach was being taken to deal with the issue of young people being involved in crime. And he is aware of some of these issues around the revolving door.
As a government, we are constantly aware of some of the issues around the revolving door, as the senator, in terms of drug treatment and rehabilitation operations and improving their academic and their technical skills while even in the prison, even on remand. These are some of the things we have done to address these issues, quite apart from and in addition to the well-supported formal education process that exists for the benefit of all of the young people in Trinidad and Tobago, opportunities in sport, opportunities in business, and all the other things that we as a society, through this government, would do in that regard. I thank you.
So Trinidad and Tobago, we have some new job loss in our country, yes. the amalgamation of Export, Creative TT, and Invest TT into a new entity in April will see the current total of 154 staff members at those three agencies cut to around 90 to 100 persons. This was indicated by Trade Ministry Permanent Secretary Randall Carey when Export TT appeared before Parliament Public Accounts Enterprise Committee. Question by PACE Chairman Wade Mack on the current amalgamation of the three companies. He said the legal process for amalgamation is nearly completed and there are many legal and industrial relations issues that goes with it. Karim said that currently the total hand count is approximately 154 persons in the organization's structure, but he wasn't sure that was the actual number of employees. Now listen to this.
The legal process is nearly completed in that because we were dealing with three separate legal entities, one would appreciate that there are a lot of legal and industrial relations issues that go concomitant with that. We are hopeful to have the new entity legally in existence in April of this year, 2024, and we are working with our lawyers and consultants to achieve that objective. Total headcount of staff at Export TT, Invest TT, and Creative TT is approximately 154 persons, and that's the official organizational structure. And not too sure if that's the actual number of persons currently employed. The purpose of the amalgamation was to create a new entity that would be much more operationally effective and to create synergies between exports and investment promotion.
Now viewers, he said Export currently has 80 persons, Invest TT has about 20, and Privet 50. Listen to this.
We are looking at a new entity in the vicinity of about 90 persons, give or take a few more depending on some final decisions that has to be taken. So we are moving from about 150 to maybe around, we expect to land around 100 persons. Export TT is by far the largest component of the 150. I'm being told it's about 51, but I think that's your official head count? Or that's it?
Yeah, but not only chart, so the chart.
I think your chart, your
has a higher number.
Yeah, so I think when I looked at their chart, it's about 80 persons of the 150. Invest TT is the smallest of the entities. It's about 20 persons. So that's about 80 and 20, 100. And the Creative TT would be another 50 persons.
Do you have a trade union representing any sector or part of the organization?
Yes. Employees of Export TT are represented by BIGU. Yes, by BIGU.
By BIGU.
Yeah, yes.
Israel Bacchanal there. People going home. Mark also expressed concerns on an audit 2023 observation on Export TT's 2018 account, where checks were signed by personals not included on the list of authorized signatories, provided and authorized persons were signing for amounts above authorized, which were honored by banks. Export TT General Manager of Operation, Maria Benjamin, said, from 2020 audit, there were 2 banking and signatory resolutions in the same year. So a decision was taken with a list of signatories. And at some point in the same year, another decision was taken. Bacchanal.
If I remember correctly, from that 2020 audit, there were 2 banking and signing resolutions in the same year. So a decision was taken with a list of signatories, and at some point in the same year, another decision was taken. But the first set of individuals were not advised of the second change, and so continued because the instrument that was presented to them said, you are authorized until so told to sign checks on behalf of the organization. So they continued to sign. So that's why you're seeing where they saying persons in the first instance who were not authorized to sign was signing.
Well, look at Bacchanal Day now. Paula, good night.
Good night, Mr. Saeed.
Go right ahead, man.
Imitation vaccine vagrant. A couple of things. Will that normalize people losing the job left, right, and center with this government? I want to talk about something that apparently nobody talking about.
Tell me.
Where Trinidad and Tobago is still on the EU blacklist.
Correct. We still on the list,
Right? And we are perceived to be a tax haven. So what that means? That means we're giving solace to people who don't want to pay tax, right? Them big boys in Europe, North America, come in and set up companies here and accounts here. So they hiding the money for the original country where they're born and things like that. Listen to one of the reasons why I think we're still on the back list. You remember it had a big court case called Nelson Gate, where it appears and it alleged that government ministers colluded to do an indemnity for a fellow by the name of Nelson Casey. What they were basically doing him, they were offering him a solution, a get out, a free card, where they will not disclose the amount of money is making to the UK authority. Why they're doing that? They want to prevent the man from paying tax. So they basically colluding with this man to prevent him from paying tax in his country. So what do you think? That would have made global news. So the blacklisting of that, and I suspect there are a lot of people in high places in companies and things who basically come to Trinidad and hide their money, set up corporation and do pay tax. I'm going to have a nice night.
Thank you, my friend. That's a little Bacchanal Day. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear a little bit from the Prime Minister, where he said in 2022 that we will have to borrow to pay salary increase. Is that a little something I have for you, but after this break.
Do you have a public concern you would like to highlight? You can email your pictures and videos to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com, and we will highlight your concerns on our show for Public Concerns Wednesday. When life throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saeed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
So Trinidad and Tobago. Speaking at a public meeting in May 2022, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley stated that unless it borrows a vast sum of money, the government will not be able to afford the salary increase being sought by the trade union representing public servants. The PM said an increase of 4% to 2% for each of the two collective bargain period would cost $1.45 billion in back pay and an additional cost of $730 million more for public servant salaries for each succeeding year in. This is what Dr. Rowley said in a public meeting in 2020. He asked if that was sustainable. Listen to this.
When we came into government, after the others gave away the $800-something million, and the oil price was rocketing downwards to the bottom, we met a 14% back pay that cost us $6 billion. And we paid it. We borrowed the money and paid it. I want to ask a question. Are you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, telling the government to do the same thing again? Tell me. I'm listening. Tell me.
You see all those people who said no to the Prime Minister? Well, hold on, I have something for all you. The PM said, circumstances beyond this country's control. Example, the war in Ukraine brought unusual high price and some improvements in the gas price, resulting in governments receiving a little more than it budgeted for, approximately $4 billion, which is the increase outside of what they budgeted for. He added that while the government had indicated that some of the windfalls could go to public servant, he had to determine what was affordable. Listen to this now.
We have to give the public servants a reasonable offer, because we don't need anybody to tell us the pressure that the people in this country, like public servants and others, have been under. It is we who said that we will not go to the IMF. We will stay here in this country and prescribe our own medicine, giving us the opportunity to do what no IMF program will allow us to do. We have not laid off a single public servant who is gazetted as a public servant in this country. Because we have said, first objective, keep your job. Second objective, at the end of the month, have the money to pay you. And third objective, as soon as we are able to, we'll improve your earning capacity. I said, let us not overreact. Let us not get carried away. I see somebody in the editorial saying, that is not enough. I didn't say that was enough. That was my opener.
Because of the war in Ukraine, we had to pay higher prices on everything in Trinidad and Tobago. Everything went up. Even the government took a decision while Barbados, carefully, while Barbados and Guyana dropped the gas prices, Same war in Ukraine going on. Barbados and Guyana dropped their gas price and dropped the tax on it. What did we do in Trinidad? We raised the gas price twice in 1 year because of the war in Ukraine. That would have cost the government to earn $4 billion. But you know what? You know what? Everything went up. Everything went up. How much y'all are saying no to the Prime Minister now? How much y'all are saying no to the Prime Minister now? You all will get nothing more than 4% increase. Now Trinidad and Tobago, the government says that, well, the Prime Minister says they're going to give you more. More they're going to give you, right? More is 4%. Everything skyrockets. Where your 4% went? Tell me. Where your 4% went? It went through the window. Because everything went up. Put up the list of the increased prices for MP. Salary Review Committee. Who gave them the order to review salary prices for MPs? Who is already getting perks? Who is already getting discounts? Who is already getting allowances? Salary Review Committee now wants to increase the price. Or let's just say the MPs and senators' salary. At whose cost now? Whose cost now? You get it? It was there yesterday. At whose cost now? The extra $4 billion came in when everything rise, everything raised, everything went up in 2022, 2021, 2022. Everything went up. Gas went up, hence the reason why they made $4 billion. $4 billion. They didn't cater for it, but they get it because of the price of gas went up. So now listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago, come back to me. Gas went up, they make $4 billion. So from 2022 to now, when they paid out their 4% to public servant, how much $4 billion they continue making? Let's talk now. Oh, let's talk now. Now they're implementing a higher water rate in the coming months. Now they're implementing tea and tech carrying up the price. Now they're implementing property tax. Let's talk now, man. Oh, let's talk. It's raw facts all I get in. Now let's say something. Now who is authorizing the increase in salary for MPs? Who is doing that? Paula, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Ali, yesterday I was watching a program, Breaking Barriers, and a government minister of Works and Transport dressed up with a wig, a Rastaman wig, a yellow shade, the frame, everything yellow, and a mask from his nose on his chin. He had a calling for about a few minutes for the public to prove who is this minister. Will you believe, after nobody couldn't get it off, he said this is Rowan Sinanan? Mr. Ali, I'm glad if you could just show this thing every day, let people know what this nasty man Rowan Sinanan is. And you know what he do that for? To meet 3 contractors, and he didn't want nobody to make him out. But people who was in the crowd send the video to Inshan. Thank you, Mr. Ali.
Thank you, my friend. So now Trinidad and Tobago, how much $4 billion have been making? Because the price at the pump was supposed to fluctuate. All you forget? How quickly you all forget? All you forget the Prime Minister said when the price of oil goes down, we're going to adjust it at the pump, and when the price goes back up, we're going to adjust it. All you forget that? Hey, look how all you forget. Oh my goodness. Look how all you forget. Have you all seen an adjust or an adjustment in the fuel price in Trinidad and Tobago since it went up in 2022? No, you haven't seen that. Caller, good night.
Very, very good evening to Mr.
To you, my friend. Caller, hold on. Am I talking the truth or am I lying?
You are correct.
Thank you.
Hello?
Go ahead. Continue.
Yes. So the Prime Minister once said, it is on public record, that he will give the public servants their back pay, but they might be looking for a job. I want the Prime Minister to know that yes, I know all are going to take the back pay, but all will be looking for a job soon. To all the best.
Thank you, my friend. Have you all seen an adjustment to the pump? No, you have not seen that. You have not seen that. 2022, 2023, 2024. We started March soon. And there has been no adjustment to the pump since it last made in 2022. So the Prime Minister gave you all something to hold and never kept to his word. All you know the seriousness in property tax? Here's a photo, a blurred photo. Just straight up on screen there for me. I want to show the public something. So Trinidad and Tobago, annual rental value of a property tax. Now I'll tell you something, eh? Two pensioners. One, annual rental value for one of the brother property came up to $170,722. Annual rental value of a property. Good? Now the government value his property for $170,722. Good? When he checked it, he will have to pay almost $3,000 a month. A month. His brother came up to $127,180.96. He will have to pay almost $3,500 per. Look at it. Annual rental value. So Trinidad and Tobago, come back to me. I want to show you something now. Remember I showed you all a video clip where Colin Embert said, I want you to listen closely, where Colin Embert said to you that your sons and your daughters may be lawyers who inheriting your property. I remember when I played that video for you all. Now listen to this. If I say, oh, hold on, we're going to use these two pensioners. These two pensioners, let's just say they got exempted from paying property tax. One for almost $3,500 and one for almost $3,000. Good? Let's just say they get exempted. Viewers, the reason why I'm saying this over and over, I want all you to understand. All you could lost all your property. I want you all to understand this clearly. You all could lost all your property. Your grandchildren could be on the street. Your son could be on the street. John, see if you got that video from him. Where Colin Imwood said, your sons and your daughters could be lawyers. It was a reply to John Tilash. You remember that video? Where if you don't pay it, your pensioner, grandfather or grandmother, they are exempted. Good. Now Trinidad and Tobago, the reason why I'm doing this, I want to let you understand. All you can lose all your property. Stupid. Don't all you can lose it. Because all you didn't listen to when I tell all you, don't rush and sign anything. Now these two pensioners, one will pay almost $3,500 a month. That's when he break it down, you know. When he break it down to 2.7% or 3%, you know, almost $3,500 a month. They send it in today for me. One paying almost 35, one paying almost 3,000. Now listen this, Trinidad and Tobago. Listen this. Let's just say these two pensioners sent in their document and they get exempted. Listen good. When they get exempted, right? And let's just say, I don't want to put mouth on them, but let's just say at the end of, let's just say they are 65 now, right? Collecting pension. Let's just say God spare their life for the next 10 years. I hope that God do spare their life until He ready for them, right? Let's just use a 10-year span. Now, Navin, do a little calculation for me. 3,500, right, by 12. How much we get? Hold on, Trinidad and Tobago. I want to show you something. And I'm very stern with this, because you all have no idea what you did. 42,000. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the one who paying almost 3,500 per month, it's going to work up to 42,000 a year. 42,000 multiplied by 10 years now, Navin, how much I get? 420,000. When these pensioners get exempted, right, at the end of 10 years, they will get an exemption of $422,000. $420,000. No! The one who's paying 35 now, he died. Pass it on to his son or his grandson. The son or the grandson now have to find $420,000 now to pay in property tax. You know why? He inherited this. Now, if he cannot get this $420,000 now to clear off this property tax for this property that he inherited from his father or his grandfather, what's going to happen? You had the video? Play. Now, Trinidad, what is going to happen? At the end of 10 years, you have to pay $420,000 on a property that you inherited from your grandfather or your father. Is the son going to get that money now? Where is he going to get $420,000 to clear this debt? No, that's $420,000 you're owing the state now. What do you think the state going to do? What do you think the state is going to do? The annual rental value, when they got it today, they send it to me and say, Saieed, we have something for you to highlight. I am bringing this to you. Let me tell you something. All listen carefully. You have it? Listen to this.
Let me explain the concept of deferral. If you are an elderly, financially challenged person and you can demonstrate that you cannot pay property tax of $600 a month, which I am sure many pensioners will be able to demonstrate easily, because the fact that you are on old age pension means that, or senior citizens pension as it's called now, you have to demonstrate to qualify for senior citizens pension, you have to demonstrate that you have no income. So once you're a senior citizens pensioner, you would meet the criteria of financial challenge automatically, because unless the Ministry of Social Development has not done a proper assessment of you. But the fact is that you're on disability, on public assistance, whatever you are, a social grant, automatically you have been screened and deemed that you are in an impecunious position. Therefore, personally, that would automatically get a deferral. And the deferral means that it is deferred for all time that you are in that situation. In that situation. So you're 70 years old, you're in receipt of a senior citizen's pension. One does not expect your situation to improve. You may pass away at age 75 or whatever it is, or age 80 or age 90 as the case may be. And what would happen now is the property would now be inherited by somebody else. That person may be a very wealthy lawyer, like somebody in front of me. And that person who inherits the property now will now be required to pay the tax, because they no longer are in the financially challenging situation that they...
All I hear that, Trinidad and Tobago? All I hear that? All you know what I did with all the property tax? All you know what I did? No! You're collecting a grant from the government, you automatically will be exempted. So these two pensioners will be exempted. They collecting pension. How much they collecting? About $3,500 a month. One is, I believe, 65. Let's just say God spare his life for 10 years. His son or his grandson, who inherits this now, inherits a sum of $420,000 owing to the state. What's going to happen with your property? All you understand what I did? Trinidad and Tobago, did you understand what you did? Long live Colin Membert, who all you put in power. Long live Colin Membert, who brought out that for all you. Long live Colin Membert and the ministry that will seize all your property. So Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. You see this? I'll continue with this tomorrow night. Tomorrow will be... Tomorrow what day? Tomorrow Friday. We will continue with this. But Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you, all you know all you do. All you know all you do, seriously. That's why we name this Real Talk. But nevertheless, we're out of time for tonight, viewers. Until we meet again, good night.